Rachel, I can't believe how many people out there are saying that the Floyd Mayweather Tenshin Nasukawa fight was somehow fixed. Um, it blows my mind because you and I watch boxing all the time. We watched it for years because we're old. And I've seen fights where I'm like, that doesn't look right. You know what I'm saying? This was not one of those fights. So tell me, Rachel, do you think that fight was fixed? Was that fight fixed?
No, I mean, when I saw the fight, there just wasn't anything that I could see where it would give me like, it's one thing if you want to think that, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. I could think a
Maybe.
million things about this fight, you know? And I get like it was him against a kickboxer. It was an exhibition match. It didn't have like a lot of purpose. It didn't mean anything, right?
Besides, of course, it being the fight of the century. Besides
Okay.
that, yes, no.
Um, so then if you were like, well, maybe it was fixed, but I mean, there just wasn't anything that happened during the fight to make you think that. Like,
Yeah, there was no evidence, either visually or from the people that are saying it. There's no. It's not like they had some kind of inside tipster. It's
yeah,
just stories that they're making up, which seem to
because it's
me
like pretty over the top to be like
it's
to watch
accusatory. I think it's dangerous
his
rhetoric.
two knockdowns and the knockout, right? To
Yeah,
watch all three of those and be like, that guy is faking it. Like
yeah,
him flailing about and having like the weakness that I've seen in plenty of other fighters
yeah.
happen.
I've seen
Like
fighters go
that's a
down from
big
punches where
accusation.
not at this level. It was never usually like a main event. But sometimes you'd see clips of fighters and you're like, that guy didn't really land a punch. But this guy was flying all over the ring to the point where I felt bad for him
Yeah.
and kind of feared for him.
Mm-hmm.
This fight, to me, there's no evidence to suggest that it was fixed. And
No,
what's
but
troubling to me is that the people are just making up stories. It's not that they think these things. It's that they go to social media or they go on their podcasts and they go on YouTube and talk about it as if it's I don't know, like I love Chael Sonnen. He's the MMA guy. He's teaching me about MMA. Oh, Chael. But every time Chael talks about boxing, I realize that A, Chael doesn't know a lot about boxing, and that makes sense because he's a wrestler type guy. B, he and I'm getting the sense, I'm going to tie this to other things. I feel like when Chael watches boxing, he gets a sense of, oh, that's them and this is us.
mm-hmm.
So boxing is them, MMA is us. And before we came up here to tape, I kind of looked into who was saying this. I couldn't really find a legitimate boxing person, a person that follows the sport that you would say is that Chael would say is them, which would be us, saying that this fight was fixed. Everybody, in fact, I read an entire article on Fox Sports where I had all these tweets from people, and I clicked and opened every tweet. Every person was associated in some way with mixed martial arts.
Interesting.
And that's just weird to me. I don't know what that. I'm not saying that I know what that means, but I just find it interesting. The only notable figure that is somehow tied to boxing is Brendan Schaub, and he's only tied to boxing because Brendan Schaub is a former MMA fighter who has a podcast called Below the Belt, and he's on Showtime a lot, and he talks about boxing and he talks to fighters. Okay. But he's not a boxing guy either. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a us and them, and then like human nature. If we're talking about them, we're going to make up negative stories about them because it makes us feel better or makes us. That's just natural, I think. But I don't like it, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to Mayweather, which that's fine. You don't like Mayweather, you don't have to be fair to him. But it's not fair to Tenshin Nasukawa.
Yeah, it's
Why
not
would,
fair to that guy.
or even the promotional company, why would they do all this stuff, pay Mayweather $9 million, take their undefeated guy, and then have him go out there and it those punches, people, you can't really fake getting punched in the way that Tenshin Nasukawa did.
Well, not 3 times. So,
Not,
let's say when you saw the first one, if the fight had ended there, if he would have got up and been and then fallen down and not gotten up, I would have been like, well, that's weird. Because it even looked like that punch landed cleanly. And that would have been, odd to me.
just because it was so fast.
Well, it was fast. So, then I could understand. But then, the
There's
fight
one
continued.
where he kind of flops back, and I'm like, and he's coming, and he had just thrown a punch.
Yeah.
How do you fake that? That's not fake.
Yeah. It seemed outlandish to jump to that.
I think it's outlandish. I think it's dumb.
Especially when you have all these other options of ways that you want to critique this whole entire thing. There's
Yeah.
plenty out there for you. So like it
Right.
seems odd to go to this. Like you could have said like I've expressed I don't like any of this. Like I hated it, the whole thing. Um,
But
so
there's
yeah.
yeah, I feel like this is just the lowest hanging, easiest criticism that one can make up based on emotional reasons, right? Like if I hate Floyd Mayweather, and it's okay, you don't like Floyd Mayweather, you want to criticize Floyd Mayweather, there's all sorts of ways to do that. But when you do something like this, to me, you're illegitimizing yourself. You're illegitimizing your criticism because your criticism isn't based on any actual information and nothing visually that you can see in the video.
What is the like evidence that people give for saying that this is fixed?
There is no legitimate. I've yet there's people say words, but their words don't mean it. So if you watch, the easiest one is to go watch Chael Sonnen's reasoning, and I love Chael. He's great at what he does, and he like throws out opinions. Definitely knows about mixed martial arts, right? Um, but the way he thinks through his reasons are just, to me, ridiculous. He talks about like he gives. There's I'm sure somebody who knows about arguing back and forth. What's that philosophy called?
Debating?
Some yeah, I don't know. There's no legitimate reasons. I mean,
Okay. So
I can't really explain.
Like
They're like super. It's like when if you're arguing about one particular thing, and so and then like I bring up
you
all these
mean
side
one of
issues
those things.
that are like, well, what about this? And it doesn't pertain to. So one of the things that Chael talks about is, well, when Mayweather fought McGregor, he made such a big deal about the glove size. He wouldn't wear the smaller gloves with McGregor, and blah blah blah. So he throws like this shade at this situation, which people are like, oh yeah, that happened. But that didn't really happen, right? There was some stuff in the media about the glove size, but Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Conor McGregor, neither one of the fighters got to decide on glove size. That's not how boxing works.
Mm.
Anything over 147 automatically gets the larger gloves. So like he throws out truthy.
Is that straw man?
Yeah, I don't know what to call it, but it's some like here's like 40% truth, and then and I'm not saying he's doing it intentionally. I'm just saying he's not really paying attention, and then you can kind of build little arguments that way. But I don't think that that's fair. I don't think it's right. I think that it's silly. I mean, it's just silly. Like if you want to call this exhibition a silly mess, then call it a silly mess. And then they start talking. Well, he wrestled the Big Show, so like that's another reason why this is fake.
I heard him mention
I'm
the
like,
Big
what?
Show. So you were watching the Chael Sonnen thing last night, and I was getting ready for bed, and so I heard him saying like, that he's like, here's what I saw and stuff. And then I heard him. He didn't say Big Show though.
Right,
he said something else.
I've read that. It's not just him. I'm not busting on this one guy. I've seen
I'm
this
just
argument
saying,
from other
why
people
in
too.
the world would the WWE be brought up? It is scripted.
I've seen Evander Holyfield in WWE.
Why
Mike
does that
Tyson's
have to
in
do with
WWE.
anything though?
Are their fights fixed now? I don't understand.
Right? Yeah. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't like it. But hey,
that would be like saying if somebody's like an actor that the way they engage the rest of their life is also that they're always acting.
Yeah,
they're never honest or authentic.
The arguments don't make any sense. Like if you follow them, they're words, yeah, and I guess I don't know. So I don't know. It's not just Chael Sonnen. It's all sorts of people out there. The most interesting to me so far is everybody I've seen has been somehow affiliated with MMA, whether they're a producer of a podcast that's MMA related, an MMA or UFC fighter. Chael Sonnen's a Bellator fighter and MMA commentator. So all these people have been somehow kind of, and I don't understand.
Maybe it's a combination of the us versus them thing. And so you have like, oh, here's something. Well, if you already have that us versus them mentality, and then you tack on to that sometimes people just start talking about stuff because like it gains momentum, even though there's no basis to it.
Right.
Like a lot of people will just keep talking about it.
I just think it's dumb. And I get like why it happens. Floyd Mayweather's a lightning rod for criticism. But I just think if you're gonna criticize someone, if you're gonna lob accusations, which are pretty big accusations that these guys fixed this fight, that would have legal ramifications, I'm sure, over in Japan. I think that it's your duty kind of to have evidence, especially if you call yourself or are in the realm of journalism, right? I'm not a great journalist, right? Like I didn't go to journalism school, but just as a human being, you don't want to just make up stories based
Right.
on nothing. I feel like we can at least agree on that.
Yeah.
You know what else we can agree on, Rachel?
What is that?
People liking, commenting, and subscribing helps the channel grow.
Yes.
And don't you want? Right now we're like a little baby channel, and like you gotta hold our little heads up like this, because a baby, its head will just. So you gotta hold our little head. But if by like, comment, and subscribing, our neck it gets stronger, and we grow, and then soon we're a gigantic baby. Wait, is that how it works? I don't really know.